Hello people, welcome back to the series Let's Go the Go programming series. In the last tutorial or last video I talked about if-else statement. Well, I told you that I will talk about for loop and effective way to iterate over an array. So in this tutorial I'm going to do that. So let's get started. New file. I'll create a new file. I'll name it um, for loop in Go, or just for loop, or loops be better, because I'll be also demonstrating how the effective way to iterate on an array. So loops.go. Now we'll specify the main package. Well, as I told you, this is the main, this is the our compiler will know that in which is the, it will ask us which will is the package in which the code is running, and we'll say it is the main package. Now func main, the entry point of any Go program. We'll also import the fmt format package. Now let's suppose there is a situation in which you have to print 10 numbers, like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 10 numbers you have to print. So how are you going to do that? Are you going to do it like this? Println fmt.println 1, fmt.println 2, and just copy all of this thing and 10 times, just 3, like that. Are you going to, I'm not going to specify all the things because it's just for demo. I'm just showing you this. Now if you run this, let's change the color of the terminal. Yeah, this is better. So if you run this thing, go run loops.go, sorry package main. Yeah, we'll get the output. We'll get 10 numbers. No, this is very time taking. Now we are not going to, there will be like we're not going to copy all of those things, like we are not going to copy this fmt.println 10 times. This is a very time taking process. So what is the easiest way to do this? What is the fastest way to print 10 numbers? Well, it's loop. We have to take we have to use for loop here. So let's do that. You need 10 numbers. So let us initialize the counter to certain equal to 0, and we'll talk about the program later. First let's talk about the syntax of for loop in Go. So as you can see, this is the initialization part, this is the conditional part, like it will check till what it has to run, or it will check the condition. If it is false, then it will go out of the loop. And this is the increment part. This is quite similar to Java, C and C++. So now what we need is we have to print certain numbers. Now in initialization part, we have to initialize a variable called I as 0. And as you know, the way to initialize any variable in Go is I is equal to is colon equal to that value. Then we'll see the condition part. Condition part, we have to print 10 numbers. So I must be 10, must be less than 10, and we have to increment 10 to keep a track of the counter, to increment the counter. Like I plus plus means we are incrementing this counter, and here we print I plus 1. So I, and let's run this. Yeah, we are getting here 10 numbers. Now as you can see, this is very fast way to do this. Now there will be a lot of other condition also, like suppose there is a condition that in this array there are 10 numbers and you have to print the sum of all the elements in the array. So let's tackle that situation. First let's initialize a variable equal to 10. Sorry, let's initialize the array which equal to, I will use slice for this. 90, 10. I'm going to use slice for it. Now if you print the array, you will see there is 0 numbers. All the numbers, sorry, not 0 numbers, there will be 10 numbers whose value will be 0. Yeah, as you can see, there are 10 numbers whose value are 0. Now we have to initialize or we have to change the value of each element of the array. So I can like doing in this way will be a bit time taking. Like a is equal to 1, a2 is equal to 2, or sorry, a1, a of 1 is equal to 2. This is very time taking. I'm not going to do this for tens. I'm not going to enter 10 lines to change the value of the variable of an array. So how I'm going to do this? I'm going to take a for loop. In fact, I'm going to repeat the above line. I'm just going to copy this. Yeah, I just want 1 2 3 4 5 6 as the values of the array. So it will be better that in this way a of I is equal to I plus 1. Or let's print this array. Just take the empty.println from here to the line after the end, to the line after the for loop. So if we save it, let me save it, and then let's run this code. Yeah. So that, as you can see here, there are a lot of use cases of for. One use case was to print 10 numbers. Another use case I showed you to change the value of each variable in an array to some other number. Like we can take the first 10 numbers, or we can also take the first 10 even numbers also. Like we can do in this way. Yeah, here it is printing the taking the first 10 even numbers. Now back to our use case. We talked about our use case is we have to print the sum of first 10 numbers. So one way to do was we can do in this here also. Instead of an array, let us take let us initialize a variable as 0, because we want to store the sum in a variable called sum, and we want to add each element we get in our way to when we are iterating over the first 10 numbers. So we have to keep track of the sum also. So we have to use a variable, and that variable here is sum. So it shouldn't contain any value, so we are taking it as 0. Sum is equal to sum plus I. Yeah, we are not printing the sum here. Let us print the sum. fmt.println sum. You have to print the value of sum also. Yeah, 45. Okay, so how you know? So it's telling us the sum of all the first 10 elements is 45. So there's also a formula to find a small mathematical formula to find the sum of any first 10 numbers or first 20 numbers or first n numbers, and it is n cross n plus 1 by 2. Okay, so you can also derive this formula also, that's not a big deal, but let me just use this formula and print it to check whether the sum we did was correct or not. We'll do sum. N is here is 10 crossed plus 1. Okay, there's also one error here. What I found was we have to use I plus 1, because we are talking about first 10 numbers, and I is like for the nav. It's like if you're thinking that for the number minus 1, I is the number minus 1. So it is 10 cross 10 plus 1 by 2. So I think it will be like value won't be for 45. Yeah, the value is changing to 55, and as we have used the formula, the value of the sum is 55. So this our logic is correct. And now we go to other use case. We have to print all the elements from array. So we'll use another variable as we declare as the way we declare in the above scenario. It is sum1 equal to 0. Now we can just we can do here we can like do in this fashion, sum1 is equal to sum1 plus a of I, or we can iterate over the array. So here let us I think it will be better if you iterate upon array. So I I think if we initialize all these variables and all and then iterate over and try to iterate on array like using a of I, it is not the better way to do it. Like here we have to know the size of the array. It means we have to we should know the size of the array. But imagine a situation where you don't know the size of an array, but you need all the elements. So in that case, you have to use a modification of the for loop, and it is in this manner: for I equal to range. Yeah, we will be using range, and range will be used in case of any arrays. And if you go in the series further, I will also talk about another scenario in which we can use this range function. So range of, I think it is only range of a. Okay, someone is declared not used. Let us not declare this thing. We'll use it afterwards with we have run this code. Yeah, as you can see, it is printing out the index. Suppose in our scenario you don't want the index, we want only the number. So there is also a way to tackle this situation. And it is underscore. Okay, range we can use in this manner also. Range is like a keyword, and it is like range will be followed by an array. Now we don't want the for any range returns you two things, like first one is the index and second one is the value of the element in that index. Okay, it is like the value of the element in that index. So we say val. So in here we are going to print in this manner. We will print like the index comma the value. Sorry, no comma is needed. Yeah, so not no comma is no plus is needed here. Let me close this thing. Yeah, and yeah, as you can see, we are trying to print the first we are trying to iterate on an array which contains first 10 even numbers. Its index at index 0 it is 2, at index 1 it is 4, at index 2 it is 6, at index 3 it is 5. Let us do it in a much better way. Let us print it in a much better fashion. We'll say a this is equal to this one. Yeah, you can see a of 0 is equal to, so by another there's another issue here, like by default it will print this go in the fmt.println, but if you specify a comma, by default it will give a space before that thing. So as you can see here, we have a square bracket then comma I. So in the output also there is a square bracket space 0. So the comma will be changed into a space. It is the best way to remember. So Okay, and actually we don't need this thing. We need the sum, only the sum of the first 10 even numbers, which is stored in the array A. So we'll initialize another variable sum1 equal to 0 as we did in the previous case when we have to print the sum of the first 10 elements. And so we are initiating variable as sum1 is equal to 0. Then we are going to add the current element to the sum1, which is sum1 is equal to sum1 plus val. So it is given an error because we have declared I and we are not using it inside this for loop. So to tackle that, we are going to use a underscore comma val. So underscore means we are not using it, or like store. We don't need to catch that thing. So as you know, range returns us two things in that array. One is that index, and the second one is the value of that element at that index. So we need only the value, and we are going to add it to sum1 and store it back to sum1. So we have done that, and let's print this sum1. Let me give a good message also. Sum of the first 10 even numbers are sum1. Let us run this thing. Yes, sum of first 10 elements are 110. As you can see, I think 110 is the right value since the first 10 elements value was 55. So I guess the second one is 110 even numbers. So okay, again we are done with this tutorial. In the next tutorial we are going to talk about dictionaries.